Hey guys, welcome back to Clockwork and Noodles for your Midway review of fall 2022. Hello and welcome back. We are truly blessed. There's some good, amazing animes out there. There's a lot also going under the radar because of how high the quality is this season. I'm going to show you my top 3 OPs, EDs and animes standing so far. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed. We're going into a whole new anime year. Fall season is the final season. I can't wait to show you guys what I roughly think. Let's start at the top. Let's start with the OPs because OPs is slightly easier. We'll start with an honourable mention with the Blue Lock Open. Sports anime meets Squid Games meets football-ish, but it's also not football. It is strangely addictive to watch it, and I am enjoying it, but I don't know what I'm watching. If you ask me what's going on in the anime itself, I couldn't really tell you, but it is definitely interesting to watch. Now, the OP itself is great because it does showcase some very nice smooth animation, what you would expect from a anime about sport. I think it's a very decent OP. Any other season, it probably would be on the list. It sets up the hype for the anime itself. It prepares you for hype. OTT. It's a very OTT anime, and I showed a friend who was a football fan because I don't know anything about football. To him, he said it irritates him because it's not football and a lot of it is BS. A fantastic viewing experience where I just get to go, what? Excuse me. That is my honourable mention. Let's jump into the list itself. In third position, it's going to my baby. It's going to Golden Kamuy. I love Golden Kamuy so much. Ali recently got big because of Jujutsu Kaisen. Even if you don't like Golden Kamuy, I would recommend checking out the OP at the most because it's still a very good song by Ali, and I think it is a very nice collab. I think it really works. But let's talk about it in regards to setting up Golden Kamuy for the 4th season and where we are. We've got a lot of walk style animation going on, which really captures the rush of this season. Needs to start gearing up because we're getting into pretty much the climax. Maybe this is the penultimate season, I'm not quite sure, but I do feel like we are entering the final phase of Golden Kamuy. A lot of characters are now setting themselves up to the heads of the hunt. Try not to give too much away if you are interested. I fully recommend, if you haven't seen Golden Kamuy, please go check it out because it's such a good anime. It always falls under the radar. It never makes waves, and I think it is up there this season. The animation is smooth, the song is fantastic. There's a lot of very nice symbology going on that you've got to look for. Obviously, you've got Captain Leaky Brain and you've got Hijikata, regarded as the top 2 players this season. There's so much going on. There's a lot of characters that float in and out. There's new characters in the OP that we haven't even met yet because we're only halfway through the season. Also, if you are watching my Golden Kamuy breakdowns, the season is currently on hold because of the death. So if you are watching those, there's going to be no Golden Kamuy this week because episode 7 is currently paused. It must be difficult, especially in a series like this where you've got staff who are the same for about 4 seasons. It's going to be very sad to lose a member of the creative staff. Let's get to number 2 on my list. Number 2 on the list is, as soon as I say this, you guys exactly know what's in number 1. It's really difficult for me to kind of go, hey, here's some mystery for you. I wonder what it could be. Number 2 on my list is going to Spy X Family. Adore this OP. I think this OP is fantastic. There's so much good colour shift going on. I've spoken about it mainly in the actual episode itself, so if you do want my full breakdown, you might want to go check out the first episode, I believe it's in. A fantastic song. It's poppy, it's great. The colours are all back. It carries the feel of the first season and the second season. There's a bit more darkness in some of it where you get the colours drained and the colours shift again. There's a nice bit of that going on. Still backs my theory that Anya is the main character who is in the future telling this story about how our parents met and stuff. I think this is one of the best OPs. I think it's one of the best OPs. I actually think it's better than the first OP for Spy X Family. There's a lot of hidden symbology. There's a lot of good colours going on, shapes. The animation is fluid and you get to see how they all interact with one another. For me, Spy X Family definitely deserves second place. It could only really be knocked out of place by 1 for me. And if you are wondering where certain animes are, I'm not watching everything. So if you're wondering where Bleach is, Bleach probably does deserve to be on the list. I've never seen an episode of Bleach. There's too much. There's too much content for me to justify catching up on. But let's talk about number 1, which is Chainsaw Man, the anime that doesn't really need any introduction. I've managed to get quite a few people to watch this anime. The cutting edge of the animation forefront. We always talk about animes that push technologies. With Chainsaw Man, a lot of people getting all hyped and riled up for the CGI especially. It's very difficult to know at times what is CGI and what isn't. The OP for Chainsaw Man is classic. There is a full breakdown somewhere of every single movie reference that is included in this anime open. I can't even list them all because I haven't seen all those classic movies that they're referencing. I like it. I love the fact that you've got so much going on. It's so stylish. It's stylish. It sets up the anime. It sets it all up, gives you that hype, makes you excited. The job of an OP is to get you excited for the episode ahead, give you that vibe. And I think also a mark of a good OP is something that you can't skip. With all of these ones I've just mentioned, including Blue Lock, OPs that I will let run quickly if I'm just settling in, I will let them run. They're OPs I won't skip. I really enjoy them. With Chainsaw Man, I think the song is really cool. I like it. It starts off almost funky and then it kind of gets down into something a bit quicker, something a bit more anime in the end. What the OP for Chainsaw Man is perhaps the strongest. I'm going to explain now when it comes to the EDs. Chainsaw Man isn't going to be in my initial list because there's 13 EDs and we haven't heard all of the EDs, so I don't think it's fair to put it in there. Doing my segue into EDs now. Chainsaw Man would get an honourable anyway because I think there's been a lot of very good EDs even in the first half. I really enjoyed the Maximum the Hormone one because it gave me a nod back to the old days of watching anime and Death Note. I enjoyed the ED with Power. I like that one with her different kind of personas. I don't think it's fair to flood my list with them, and it also gives me a chance to talk about some other anime EDs that are airing this season. Obviously, ED is difficult because most animes will have two. Generally, the first half of an anime has a feel to it, then halfway through things get serious, so there's a different feel. I'm only going off what's aired so far, so it's not just going to be the same three things on the list each time, which I think makes it more interesting to you and hopefully allows you to go, oh, this is an ED I didn't even know existed, or this song is also really good. My honourable mention going to Golden Kamui being the best song. There are two songs on my ED list that I would say are the best song. Golden Kamui has got one of the best songs. I love the song to pieces. I have it on my list now. It's on my playlist. But it doesn't do a lot. When I come to marking these things, some of them have really good songs, some of them don't do anything. It will be rolling credits or something. It will just be credits. I can't mark that as a very good ED because nothing's happening. I do think at some point we do need to adjust how I do the midways and the ED things. Maybe I'll crown a best song and then crown just best ED, which conveys everything. Golden Kamui's song is fantastic. There's not a great deal going on in this ED to really talk about. All the characters are portrayed in a newspaper form. Just this is the headlines, these are the characters. You get a nice picture for every single one of them. But the credits roll. So there's not a lot going on. There's nothing that we can really deep dive into. There's no hidden meaning or anything. It's just all the characters who are in the series are just in paper form. Because the cast is so huge, it's nice to have them all in one place in the form of a paper. I think it really works. Let's deep dive into the top three. Chainsaw Man bowing out for this one. It has allowed me to talk about two different animes that wouldn't really be on the list if Chainsaw Man was here. In third place, I want to talk about the villainess. So I am the villainess. I'm taming the final boss. This anime, I am absolutely loving to pieces. I'm really enjoying it. So we'll talk about Becca hating isekai. This is an isekai I adore to pieces. I wasn't expecting it to be just as entertaining as it is. Yeah, I love my rom-coms. I know a lot of people don't really like romances and things. This is one that I think is really funny. I think it's very different. I think there's a lot of differences going on. She actually does bow into the role a bit more. She happily plays the role of the villainess a bit more if she needs to. The ED itself is really good. I'm addicted and I like it. I don't actually like the OP for this one. I hate it. I skip the OP for villainess. The ED comes around, I listen to it. I like the song. It's catchy. There's a lot going on. I think it does convey the feel of the episode as well, generally. There's a lot of busyness going on. I like the colour schemes as well. It does lead into the colour schemes quite nicely. I think it carries villainess and the craziness very nicely. I'm talking about it to you guys right now and I can hear it in the back of my head. It's a great earworm, flows nicely. You've got the crow, which is there, which is obviously part of the anime that has a role to play. But I want to talk about two particular because two is actually my all-time favourite song of this season. I also think it might be one of my favourite animes. aside all the craziness, this is Raven of the Inner Palace. It's got the best song. Hands down, this is the best song. Adore the song. If you listen to the full as well, you're going to be in for a treat because the song just gets better and better and better until it hits a key change and then it just goes crazy. I think it's nice to see all of our characters all peaceful there, but there's also some nice little hints of the big secret that I'm not going to spoil, but it's in there in the ED itself. The song carries the vibe very nicely. It's solemn, it's quite sad. The anime itself is not what I expected. Expecting one thing and you don't get what you're expecting because this anime subverts your expectations and it goes somewhere completely different. I'm going to put it there because I think the ED itself is fantastic. I can't put it in number 1 because there's not too much going on with the ED itself. Because of how much I love the song, because of how much I've overplayed it. I skipped the OP again for this anime, but the ED it's forbidden to skip this one for me. I can't skip it. I think it's fantastic. I love the ED. I love the style. In first place, we have got Spy X Family, and I actually think the ED might be slightly better than the OP, just slightly. I think its colour, its scheme, the song is good, it's pop. A lot going on of symbology wise in this one as well. I think it has got one of the better EDs. Smooth animation, there's a lot of nice interactions between characters going on. As always, it has more of a closing down theme. It closes the excitement down for the day, and I think that really works for Spy X Family because it feels episodic. It feels this is what happened today in Anya's diary, and now we're going to close it down. We're going back to bed. It's all peaceful again. And I love the fact that it just centers around all the characters doing their daily life, interacting with one another, going room from room. What are the forges up to? What happens in this room? What craziness is going on here? Every frame is full of life, happiness, excitement. I'm definitely giving the top ED to Spy X Family. So now let's get into the hard list. Really struggled with this list because there's a lot going on this season. This is my freeze frame. So if you ask me right now what my top 3 are, this is going to be the freeze frame. I think things are going to change. Honorable mention, and this is painful for me to put it so low. Any other season, it would be higher. Golden Kamui. Love this anime. This anime means so much to me, and also thank you guys so much for tuning into this one because I always worry after there being a year break that no one's going to come back, and come back they did. You guys came back in full force. Such a good story. One of the best written stories out there, but it is often overlooked by how it looked. People get put off by season 1's like really bad CGI bear, but if you stick with it, such a heartfelt story. It's so clever as well. Everything is interlinked. You won't realise till later in the series how interlinked everything is, how carefully constructed everything is. So many conspiracies going around with this one. People just debate it 24/7. With me thinking we're in the penultimate episodes, I still don't know where we're going, and I think that is a mark of a very good anime. And season 4 is proving to be one hell of a season nonetheless. We are currently on that halfway break that I mentioned earlier. It might end up dragging into next season depending on how delayed episode 7 is going to be. Every single character is fleshed out. Golden Kamui has got a very big cast. It's very difficult to make a big cast feel real, giving every single one the time that they deserve. The Golden Kamui does that. The moment it deserves, it gives them a backstory. You'll start to learn about them as a character. I am going to be really sad when we start to say goodbye to characters, even if it's just them going away now because of getting to the end and people have to do their thing, or if anything bad happens. Every single character in Golden Kamui is family because of how much time I spent with them, especially our main 3 characters in particular. I really do recommend checking out Golden Kamui when you get some time, because if you can get past the bear, please get past it. Because I had a guy come to me once going, oh, is that the anime about the bear? No, the Golden Kamui isn't about bears. Bears are in there, but it's not the point. Simplified version on what the plot for Golden Kamui is. It's historical. It takes place after the Russo-Japanese War. It's a country at this point which doesn't quite know which way it's going. So we're at the point before modernization. We've got the military influence going on. There is a lot of gold buried, and we're talking like 85 million gold buried. Traditional values vanishing under a modern thing. It's a gold hunt, essentially. It's trying to find the gold. There is so much at stake because of how much money it is. People try anything and everything. It's crazy. All the characters have got some really fantastic backstory. There's a lot of moments where you'll end up biting your nails in fear that your favourite character might die or anything, and that's very real. We've had characters who have passed away. I've done a very bad job of trying to hype it up for you, but just think adventure. This is an anime all about adventure and friendship. Let's jump onto my list. In third place, I've got Spy X Family. Second core, I'm really enjoying it. We've got some fantastic darker moments this season that I've really enjoyed. A few more new characters coming to the forefront, which is quite nice. It's only in third position, so that might get you guys wondering what's above. Absolutely loving this season. I'm having great fun with it. I also cosplayed from it, so I'm enjoying that. You guys are fun to talk to as well. It makes breakdowns even more fun. I do think these things are personal, so obviously everybody's lists are going to be different. I think with how I interact with you guys in certain videos, it can also influence where a video falls. We had that last season. I had so much fun talking to the fan base. I think it was Shadow's House. I loved you guys so much that you actually pushed it onto the top 3 in the end. It wouldn't have initially made it to top 3 if it wasn't for the interactions I was having with you guys. Spy X Family is one of those animes which has done a lot, and I know a few people might be falling out of love with it now because I think it's getting to the point where it's settled down and not too much is going on at the moment. I think it will get crazy again soon. I think it's done a lot for being an anime that's kind of come out of nowhere. It's holding its own, and it's an anime which doesn't rely on things like big battles, CGI or anything either. How much is airing this season? How many are relying on big battles, their big battle arcs and things? It's difficult to hold your own. The fact that Spy X Family each week is making me laugh, making me excited to see it, speaks volumes. I'm enjoying this season. I hope we get to see a bit more of Frankie as well, because Frankie is a fun character. That is another anime like Golden Kamui where all of the side characters feel lively. They take the time to make the extensive cast feel alive, not just this is a character, goodbye kind of thing. There's a character who comes back in the second core of Spy X Family who I initially didn't like from season 1, but they brought them back, if not a bit of a redemption, but showing you that this character is 3D complex. There's more to the character than just being somebody who doesn't like one of the main characters. Let's move on to the second place. It's going to be Raven of the Inner Palace. I know this won't make anybody's list. I wasn't expecting this to be anything. I went into this expecting just another Chinese story. The usual, I've watched a lot of Chinese anime, and I think the fact that it's handled by a Japanese director board, I think that helps it. Probably going places that I don't think a Chinese anime would generally go. So we've had a new emperor, we've had a lot of bloodshed going on, and it's turning into a bit of a murder mystery. Supernatural elements, so there's ghosts involved here as well. Main character can see ghosts, and she's hiding a very big secret. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. That secret is something as well that I don't think you see coming. I don't think it's highlighted or broadcasted anywhere that this would be the secret that this person's holding, but I think it's very important. All of the characters are very endearing. I adore the relationship between the main character herself and one of her handmaids. She only has one, but I think it's very important to see how she treats her. She's not just a stuck-up snob that you sometimes get with princes type thing. She's a very realistic character. I like her. I like the way that she's portrayed. I love the way that she interacts with the people around her. I adore the artwork. If you actually go and look at any of the artworks for this one, beautiful artwork. There's a lot of food as well. The main character is a bit of a foodie, so I really appreciate that. I do like an anime that brings to the table multiculturalness. I think it's the ongoing mystery, the fact that there's been characters who have perished quite nasty ways. It's dark, it's pretty, it sounds amazing. Lacks in places only slightly with things like animation styles. They will reuse the same animation occasionally with the main character and her transformation bit. I think you can forgive it because, again, it hasn't got a big budget like some of the other animes that are airing. Things are going to change. Things change every single week. Whether Raven will keep up its position here. Love this anime. I'm really enjoying it. Keep looking at it going, I'd love to cosplay from this. That means it's having an after effect. The anime is not just I've watched it, I've forgotten about it next day type thing. I do think about this anime a lot. I'm listening to the song 24/7 because it's fantastic. Mysteries, a bit of murder mystery, whodunit type thing. If you are slightly interested in Chinese culture and things, check this one out because I think you're sleeping on it otherwise. And in first place, we're going to go Chainsaw Man. I think every single episode of this one is slowly building up craziness, but I am enjoying it. Power is one of my favourite characters. I'd love to cosplay Power at some point. Love the way that it's been handled. I am loving the plot. I think the cast is hilariously colourful. Every character so far feels unique. They all feel like they're living, breathing. I love the action. Obviously, the action sequences are insane. It's gory. The anime isn't holding back, which I actually kind of like. And I have recently binged the Cyberpunk Edge Runners, another anime that just doesn't hold back. I think I am starting to appreciate animes that do just put it all on a table and this is it. We're not going to hide anything. We're not censoring anything. And I think Chainsaw Man wouldn't work if you censored it at all. I don't think it would have the same appeal because it's visceral. The main character character is very different from most of our main characters that we follow, in the fact that he comes from very low places. He doesn't have lofty dreams or anything. His dreams are pretty, standard. I just want to grope some boobs. That's all I want to do. I did worry that this would fall flat as a motivation, but they are kind of making it work, so I'm not too concerned. I am enjoying it. I think it is definitely building, and it probably will be on the top 3 still at the end of season review, because I think it's going to get crazy soon. The recent episode I have watched, if you want to know where I am when filming this, is the one where they've set up the gun devil, and I like the twist at the end of that episode. It's really got me hooked. That was the episode that made me sit up and go, now I'm invested, because I'm curious by the way that you set up this devil. Those are my top 3. Obviously things are going to change. I hope you guys aren't too angry. Please be respectful. These are just my top 3. This is my opinion. It's not going to be the same. I'm not watching every anime that's airing this season. I am watching a lot. There's things like Bleach that aren't on my list, and obviously Bleach is going to top most people's lists. I think this season it's really Bleach versus Chainsaw Man. From every list I've seen so far, Bleach is winning, but I'm not watching that one. So obviously for me, I fall back to Chainsaw Man because I'm watching it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of good animes that you guys need to be checking out. I do have to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart though, mainly for the To Your Eternity fans. I know it didn't make it in any of the lists. You made me happy cry so much when I brought the first episode from the second season back. I had 5 of you come back from the first breakdowns a year ago. Just hearing your kind words, running this channel, I know it's a small channel, we don't get too much foot traffic. That was the best video to represent a community that I'd seen. To Your Eternity is absolutely destroying every other review on my channel. So that video isn't going anywhere. I'm going to keep that as a firm fixture. It's continuing into next season. It's got the highest views. It's got the most people chatting down below. It's got the best comment section of any of the breakdowns I'm doing. I did want to quickly do a little heads up to you guys. I know you're not on the list, but I do need to say something because you guys are doing an amazing thing and it makes me happy, and you are my Pain Train family and I love you guys to pieces. So thank you so much. Really enjoying this season. This season has got so much good stuff. I think it's easy to slip under the radar. There's a lot going on. I'm having fun with many animes I didn't think I would. More Than Friends and Less Than Lovers anime. It's trash, but it's my trash and I'm actually enjoying that anime, so I think that's worth it as well. Raven, I'm enjoying that one. To Eternity is doing fantastic on the Pain Train aspect, but it's very different this season. The pacing's very different. So much good anime going on out there. I don't think Edge Runner Cyberpunk was this season, but if it was, go check that one out because I think it's one of the best game adaptations ever. Also talking from this season, we've got Arknights. If you're not watching Arknights and you are playing the game, what are you doing? You're sleeping on Arknights. I've only recently really got back into playing Arknights. The adaptation is fantastic. You play the main character in the game. They're doing it in a way that even in the anime, they're still keeping that character a mystery because a lot of people project themselves into that character. I definitely recommend you go check that anime out. The little secrets that we all tell was another one I wasn't quite sure on. That's hilarious. Whatever's going on in that one, that's Comedy Central for me. That's hilariously funny. I definitely recommend that if you want to laugh at something. Can't wait to see you guys at the end of the season to see what I overly think. Thank you guys for sticking with me, and if you're not already, please do give that subscribe button a little bit of love. It really does mean the world to me. If you want a cool fact that there is enough of us to fill 3 at least passenger airline planes. Thank you guys so much for continuing your support. Have a great day, guys. Make sure you're looking after yourselves. Bye bye.